Hello, my name is Brenda. My channel is Handwork Maniac, and I am here to do an update on my cross-stitching projects for half of November and all of December. So I have 12 finishes, 8 fully finished objects, 12 other projects that I worked on since the last video, and 3 new starts. And I think that's the order that I'll do them in. And I just have a couple of housekeeping right off. I got a lovely Christmas card from Lynette, all the way from Australia, and a lovely Christmas card from Pam and Steph. So cute. And in my last video, or the video before, I can't remember, I told you about this exchange that I received at the Shepherd's Bush retreat in Park City. And I found out it was made by Cheryl Ann. Thank you, Cheryl Ann. It is so cute. And it is called Tiny Nativity, and it is by Bent Creek. Look how cute that is. I love it. Okay, let's do fully finished first. I decided that I really needed to get out all of the Christmas ornaments and a Christmas pillow that had been stitched. I think 4 of them were a recent finish. The rest are old finishes that just never got fully finished into ornaments or a pillow. And I decided this year was the year. So I got those all done before Christmas and had them out on display. That was so fun. I ended up putting my cross-stitched ornaments across a shelf that is above our kitchen table. I hung a green garland and then hung all the ornaments on there. So that was fun because I got to see it all the time. So this one, first is the pillow. This is a Prairie Schooler Santa done at the Shepherd's Bush store in Ogden, Utah. They have stitched all of the Prairie Schooler Santas on this larger, I think it's like a 7 count or a 9 count Flosstube, I think it's called, with pearl cotton, 1 strand of pearl cotton, and they make them into the cutest pillows they have there. So that's why I did this one that way. I love this one because the north wind, you can see it blowing. Look at his beard blowing sideways. And this bunny hanging on for dear life. This candy cane's going sideways. This bunny's hanging on to his cane. I just think it's the cutest thing. I bought a pillow insert from Hobby Lobby, and then just made the pillow the size to fit the pillow form, put the big rickrack trim on it, and then I just did a sleeve envelope, 2 pieces of fabric on the back overlapping so that you can put the pillow form inside, change it out later if you want to. But I was so proud of myself for actually getting that made into a pillow. I think I finished stitching that at least by last Christmas, maybe the Christmas before. And then at the same time, I was doing a tiny Prairie Schooler Santa because my local needlework shop at the time was Craft Center Fine Stitchery, and they were doing it on this, it's a linen Ada, I think it's called. But it's over 1, Davos maybe? It's over 1 with 1 strand of floss. And I just put 2 pieces of craft foam in there, so it's a nice flat finish, but it's also very squishy. And just sewed this into a pillow with this on the back. I think he's so cute. This is one that I finished a while ago, several years ago. This is by Alessandra Adelaide. She has 3 of them, 1 with Mary and Joseph and the baby, 1 with the shepherds, and 1 with the kings. I've only stitched this one. And finally got it finished into a flat ornament with the cardboard inside. But I need to put it store it between some heavy books so it will flatten out. Apparently I did not leave it between the heavy flat books long enough. And then I just sewed the trim onto it. So cute. These were ones that I fully finished a long time ago on the perforated paper and put them on the little sled ornaments. But I had them out hanging with these other ones, so I thought I'd show them to you. And this one too, on this beautiful wooden sled on the perforated paper. The two smaller ones are Fox Hill Crossings. This one might be a Fox Hill Crossing as well. Can't remember. All right, this is Teresa Kogut Green Coat Santa. And this one is also two layers of craft foam, just stuffed and sewed it like a pillow and stuffed those 2 pieces of foam inside. So it's squishy, but nice and flat. It is 1/1 on 28 count, I believe, on the called for fabric. With the called for DMC, except I changed the color of his coat to an overdyed, so it would be I liked the variation in color. And it looks like the rest is DMC. Love how he turned out. And so happy I finally got him all finished. Okay, this one I've been working on this year, so it was a recent finish. It's a Mill Hill kit, the Nativity Trilogy. And this is the first one I've done. I have all 9, can't remember if there's 9 or 12. Patterns from Mill Hill, they're little perforated paper with floss and beads. But this is the first one I've done and finished it. I just glued felt to the back, put a ribbon on it, cut it out. So cute. This is an old one that I stitched a long time ago. It's a German nutcracker on perforated paper. Okay, these were Dimensions Christmas Village Ornaments. It's a Dimensions gold kit. Has 6 ornaments in it. I stitched this one over a year ago, but hadn't fully finished it yet. And then I stitched this one this year, and then just fully finished both of them before Christmas. So I just have 2 done so far. I did it the way they recommended in the pattern with the red felt on the back, and you make the gold trim by yourself. The little gold trim isn't quite long enough, so I need to add a little red bow right here where it joins to hide that, because it was a messy join. And they're not exactly, I made photocopies of the actual stitching and then cut the cardboard to fit the photocopy, and then realized later that made them not, they're not square. They're not symmetrically perfect, but that's okay. I still love them. I'm planning on, I'll probably do 1 a year till I have all 6 of them done. But so proud of myself for actually finishing them into an ornament. Can you tell I'm just ridiculously proud of myself for actually finishing some ornaments? I actually stitched and finished this one either last year or the year before. It is a Mill Hill little bead kit on perforated paper with floss and beads. Darling little gingerbread house. Okay, this was from the fall retreat with Deb and Kath from Snug Harbor Craft, StitchWest. The guest designer was Hands On Design, and we did a bigger piece called Make It Count that I'll show you in a minute. And then she also gave us this smaller piece called Leaf Me Alone, because sometimes you need people to leave you alone so that you can cross stitch and make your day count. And I thought it looked kind of like a Christmas ornament because it has these beautiful green leaves on it that look like Christmas greenery to me. So I'm going to use it as an ornament. We had a class while we were at StitchWest, and we actually finished the back portion. She showed us how to finish this back piece, and then you finish the front piece just the same, and then you sandwich them together. So I actually got that stitched and fully finished. I hope you're all sitting down because you're probably having a heart attack at this point. You might faint. And this is a Blackberry Lane Peppermint Place ornament, part of her Gingerbread Village series. And it is double-sided. It has a front side to the house and a back side to the house. And these beads came with it to make the hanger, the gumdrop hanger. And it came with the buttons. My good friend Colette, the highway stitcher, gave all of the materials to me to make it. But it turned out so cute. I did it on the called for fabric, which is 32 count gingerbread by Picture This Plus, I think. And it came with it has some little clear beads that are all over this part and a little bit on the house, and then these big buttons. Part of it is over one. The little elf, the cherry, some greenery above the windows is all over one. The elf is decorating the house. Then on the back of the house, you see the back of the elf, his ladder. He's got a bag full of gumdrops and a pail full of gumdrops down here. It's so cute. There's a couple of Christmas present buttons and a peppermint button on the back. I am so proud of myself for getting this fully finished. I cannot believe I actually got it done. Okay, that is all of the fully finished stuff. Now we'll do just the finishes that are not fully finished yet, because I was trying to finish a bunch of stuff before the end of the year. Which way does this go? I believe it goes this way. This is Rainbow Color Blocks by Vivsters. And I was so thrilled to get it done. 46 count antique white Aida, 1/2, 1 strand of floss over 2 fabric threads with the called for DMC. The colors, are just gorgeous. And I love that each little block has at least 2 colors in it. Some of them have 3, so they each have a little pattern in them. Beautiful. This is in French, it's Les Gnomes Olympiques, I think. So the Gnome Olympics by Jardin Privé. I started it during the Olympics this year and was able to just finish it up this month. I don't remember what fabric this is. I'm pretty sure it's either 40 count over 46 count, called for DMC 1/2. And I will put the name of the fabric in the description box because I just don't remember on this one. But they turned out so cute. Okay, so I think this is a towel and this is a flag hanging off of the clothesline. Here's the 3 little animals on the podium for which medal they won. This row has the badminton tournament. This row, he's lifting weights, but they're plants. And I thought this guy was like directing traffic or something. But then I finally realized that he has little black shorts on and little tennis shoes, and he's a soccer ref. He's red carding someone and throwing them out of the game. And then I thought this guy was on a bicycle with a flag, and then finally realized that's the torch. He is carrying the torch, the Olympic torch. This guy's jumping over 3 sheep. I can't decide if this one is diving or swimming. He's getting ready to dive in to the pool. So cute. That one was so fun. Oh, this is called, Scottish Door. It is a Riolis kit. And I used the kit floss and the kit fabric, which is Aida. It's a tan Aida, and I think it's 14 count. It'll be in the description box for sure. It came with the wool acrylic thread, 2 strands of it that I used, just like the directions called for. Love wool acrylic. It fills in so nicely. It's a little fuzzy, kind of like thin yarn. It's lovely to work with. Love how this turned out. I was inspired to start this by Laura. I Stitch Birds is her channel. Her very first time she had her own at-home retreat by herself in her house, and she won the door prize. I laughed out loud. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So while I was watching that video, gosh, it's probably been a year or two, probably 2 years ago. She did another at-home retreat recently, but this one was the first one that was a couple of years ago. So I immediately decided I was also having an at-home retreat with myself in my house, and I won the door prize too. And this was the kit that I won for the door prize that I pulled out of my stash, and I started it immediately. So that always makes me think of Laura. This one is, it will be a little needle book, but it's a little paint box, paint palette, paint box. I can't think of where I'm not coming up with the right word. It folds up like a needle book, and it holds a needle threader. And it's part of the Toy Box Etui by Betsy Morgan, which was a class I took, gosh, like 10 years ago. I showed you the whole rest of the Toy Box Etui, all fully finished in video number 3, I think, clear back then, which was that 6 years ago. Finally finished this last piece of the toy box. When I fully finish it into its little needle book, then I'll show you the whole thing again. But I was very happy to finish that, finish the stitching at least. And I think you can only get that pattern by taking the class from her, and I don't think she teaches anymore. Okay, which way does this go? This way. This is Fairy Square by Carolyn Manning. It is on 46 count. It looks like Frost from Bestitch Me. I did a color conversion, my own color conversion. It had orange and purple in it, and I changed all the oranges to a peachy color and all the purples to teal. I think I softened up the greens a little bit. If you're interested in the conversion, you can email me. My email's in the description box. So happy to finish that. Lots of back stitching, but so cute. I changed about maybe half the colors, and the other half, and it's just all DMC. And the other half are the called for DMC. 1/2. Okay, this is the Make Today Count piece from the fall StitchWest with Deb and Kath at Snug Harbor Crafts. Their channel is Snug Harbor Crafts. The guest designer was Hands On Design, and this was the kit, retreat kit piece that we received from Hands On Design. This, and then the little Leave Me Alone ornament that went with it. And then she also gave us the pattern for a little round one that just has the words Make Today Count, if you wanted to make a smaller one. She said she tried to put on here all of the kind of a hygge feel, Hygge, all of the things that are cozy and comfortable about stitching. So everything in there is most to make you feel cozy and comfortable and to be able to sit down and stitch and enjoy yourself. Love the colors. It's on the called for fabric. It's 32 count, 2/2. But I can't remember. I'll put it in the description box what color it is. This one is Robin Patchwork Christmas Stitch Along by the Historical Sampler Company. They have another stitch along going on right now, maybe 2, I can't remember now, that are so cute. But this was the one I did in October and November with them. They sent me all the supplies for it. It's on Sage Green Linen by Zweigert. 32 count, 2/2 with DMC. And I just think it's so cute. Look at the robins right there in the middle. The white showed up so nicely on this green. They also have, if you order it from them, they also have some Sage Green Ada. And that pattern is still available on their website. And if you go to their website, the Historical Sampler Company, you can see what stitch-alongs are going on right now. All right, and this is the big one. Kingdom of Books. This was a kit by Andriana, Andrianna. It's a Russian company. The original is a kit of this pattern. The artwork is of the canal, of the houses along the canal in the Netherlands, and all of the book titles in the original kit are in Russian, but if you translate them, they are all books about the canals and the Netherlands and windmills. I used the kit floss, but I did not use the kit fabric. It came with 14 count Aida. I changed to an 18 count overdyed Aida that looked more like the background, because the background is a wooden shelf. I did not stitch the background. I just stitched a little bit of the background, maybe 1 or 2 rows, kind of used my best judgment for the pattern so that the white on top of the houses would show up. And then I translated the titles of the books to English. 2 strands of floss over 1 Aida square on 18 count. And I can't see what, oh, here we go, sorry. And then the very last book is, no, second to last book is, what does it say? Paintings, Vincent van Gogh. And I spelled Van Gogh wrong. Oh my goodness. So I'm definitely fixing that before I frame it. That was a stitch along with my friend Sharon. We had so much fun stitching it. She's still working on hers. I know Stitching Between the Lines also stitched this a little while ago, finished hers. I'm so thrilled that it's done. I just think it's gorgeous. Definitely going to get it framed. Okay, I think that's all the finishes. I'm going to do a whip parade right after this. And then after that, I'll do a plans video where I'll tell you how many pieces I started and finished this year. Okay, so now there are 12 pieces I worked on since the last video and 3 new starts. Can't remember if I actually, well, no, I must have. Can't remember if I worked on this since you saw the last video. This is Winter by the Sea by Jeanette Douglas. It's a series of 4 of her Seasons by the Sea. They all make one piece. You can see how they all join in the middle right here with this motif here. Mine is on 32 count Frozen by Forbidden Fiber Company. And I think it's 1/2 because that's what the instructions call for, depending on which, has a lot of specialty floss in it. Specialty stitches, specialty floss. I think there's some beads. That's how far I got. I'm just doing whatever the directions tell me to do. I bought the little, I have all 4 seasons. I'm going to stitch all 4. It's a stitch along with my friend. She invited me to stitch it with her. Her name escapes me right this moment. I'm so sorry. And anyone else who'd like to join us. I bought all of the little, you can buy the little accessory pack with each one of them that has all the specialty floss and the beads. A little bit of beads in it. And some sparkly threads. Now where do I put these? We're not even to the whip parade yet. We're already having space issues. This is Portrait of Christ. It's a Jan Lynn kit from, I don't know, 20 years ago, at least. The artwork is by, the original painting is by Warner Salmon. I'm using the kit floss, but I'm not using the kit fabric. It is 32 count French Vanilla by Live and Die LA. And this is what it looks like so far. I just think it's beautiful. It does have a lot of blends, but not hardly any back stitching. Um, 2/2 on the 32 count. Let's save that one. That's one of the new starts. We'll do those at the end. This one is In the Library by Mojo Stitches. I'm doing it on the called for, which is 32 count baked clay fabric by Fox and Rabbit. And I'm also using the called for cottage garden threads. And the names of all of those threads have book names. Something that's related to books. It's very fun. Oh, goodness. Two over 2 on the 32 count. I have 2 shelves done. I have one more shelf down here, and I was working on the border when I pulled it out. This is a magnet I made from a Moda. Moda makes charms. I think they call them charms. That comes 2 in a pack, and it's to hook to something with, you know, it's got a little ring so you can hook it to something like a zipper. And I took the ring off and glued a magnet to the back. It's a little card catalog. I think that Moda pack was called Furniture. It had the little card catalog and a little comfy overstuffed living room chair. This one is Spring Moon by Plum Street Samplers. Mine is on 46 count Peanut by Be Stitch Me with the called for overdyed threads. Goodness. And this is what I have so far, 1/2. I got the house done. That felt like a huge accomplishment. Got the bunny down at the top. Can't wait to start on the moon. The color palette on this is the most beautiful blues and greens. Oh, just gorgeous. Nope, not that one. And you put all of the charts for the series in the same bag. This is Autumn Folk by Hands On Design. I just started this in October after the retreat. Bought all the supplies there. I'm going to stitch all 4 seasons. Colette, the highway stitcher, and I decided we needed to stitch these after seeing the models at the retreat. So it is the called for fabric, which is 32 count driftwood. This one's on even weave. And then it's the called for threads. What does it say for the designer? Oh, Fabrics by Stephanie. It's driftwood Fabrics by Stephanie. And it is all DMC floss, 2/2. And that is what I have done. The colors are just stunning on that fabric. The greens and the oranges, oh, the dark blue, just beautiful. I was working on trying to finish so many things that I didn't get a lot of time on my Christmas projects, and decided that next year I need to do that differently, because I love working on my Christmas projects at Christmas time. But I did pull them all out and work on them at least a little bit. This is A Churchyard Christmas by Praiseworthy Stitches. It's on the called for fabric 32 count Mirage by Picture This Plus. With the called for over dyed threads, 2/2. And it does have a little bit of sparkly Krynic. And I worked down there in the white. It says Joy to the World. I'm working on the. So fun. The little manger scene gets me every time. And I pulled out 12 Days of Christmas by Liz Matthews. It's a series of patterns. I'm stitching them all on the same piece of fabric. And I've gotten to number 3, the 3rd day of Christmas. I'm doing the square sampler version. Move the needle minders. I forgot. I had left this out on it was on my lap stand sitting on my stitching chair a week ago Sunday. And my daughter, Marie, Stitchy Marie, happened to come over when I wasn't home. And when I sat down to do my stitching, look what happened. Some curly-headed little elf came in my house named Marie and just stitched the thread all over the place. Just to see if I would notice. Funny girl. Made me laugh. I'll talk more about this in plans. because this is not going to take 12 years to do. And at this rate, it would take more than 12 years. But I do have a plan. The Fabulous House series by Cottage Garden Samplings has come to an end. The series, not the stitching. This was, Log Cabin was number 12. And then she announced in November, I think, that she was releasing one more bonus pattern, 13, the Tudor House. Look how beautiful that is. And since I'm stitching them all on one piece of fabric, because I'm crazy. And the other crazy thing I did was think that I could stitch one a month. What was I thinking? I didn't know what I was going to do when the 13th house came out, because I thought, well, that's not going to fit on my fabric. Maybe I'll have to stitch it as a separate piece and just hang it, you know, near it or something. But then I had only part way done the number 10 house, which was, no, the 11 house, which was a creepy house, haunted house. And it was just a little too creepy for me. My daughter Marie says she'll take the pattern. She wants to stitch it. She loves Halloween. So I went and I pulled out, frogged all of the part of that house that I had done and decided to put the Tudor house in right there. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far, or at this moment. I was really hoping to have it done by the end of the year, but that didn't happen, and that's okay. I'll just keep working on it. It'll be done pretty soon. So I'm 46 count Prehistoric by Fox and Rabbit. The called for fabric is 40 count Prehistoric by Fox and Rabbit. So it's the same color, just not the same count. Mine's 46. I'm doing 1/2 with the called for flosses. It's mostly DMC. Each house had one, usually just one, sometimes two over-dyed threads in it, and then the rest was DMC. I did change, well, here, we'll show it. There's the first 3. Oh, and I changed all of the patterns called for 3865 as their white, the ones that had white in them, and I changed mine to just white, DMC white, blanc, so it would show up better. That middle house, the Hobbit house, had a brown door, brown stripy door. The description in the Hobbit book says it's a green door, so I changed it to green. I used one of the same greens out of the rest of the house. It's the other green that's used in the house. And then I added a darker green. I'll put it in the description box what colors I used. And then I just kept the same stripy pattern, and I'm going to sew a little gold button on it when I'm done, because in the book it has a gold handle door knocker. Can't remember if it's a handle or a knocker. The birdhouse. Row 4. Good grief. Is the barn with the sunflowers. Still working on the lighthouse with the whale. There's the floating house. Here is the fairy house. My start of the Tudor house. And the part I have done on the log cabin, which is looking excellent. I'll just keep working on this. Probably an hour a day until it's finished. I've so enjoyed that. I loved every pattern. I just need to do less stitch-alongs this year, because I felt like all of last year I spent doing stitch-alongs and never got to my regular projects that I usually work on. But I'll talk more about that in plans. Okay, this is my snow day piece. And we did have 2 days of snow this month. I think one, no, I don't think we had one in November. I think we just had 2 in December this year, where I had snow on the ground at my house. It's melted now, but it was there. It's called Snow Day by Shannon Christine. Comes with 3 different colorways you can choose. I'm doing this one on the front that's the teal colors. It calls for just a white fabric, neutral white fabric, but I wanted it to look like this model photo, so I chose a light blue fabric. It's just Zweigart, I think, light blue even weave. Let's see what the card says. 32 count light blue Lugana by Zweigart, using the called for floss. But it calls for gold beads and white beads. And instead of the gold beads, I'm using Rainbow Gallery Petite Treasure Braid PB02 for wherever the gold beads were. I'll just do X's with the gold sparkly thread, but I'll still use the white beads that it calls for. And then I changed the white to B5200 so it would show up better on the fabric. I found the top at the end of the year last year when I was working on it, and then this year I have worked my way over to the corner, found the corner, and I'm working down a little bit in those snowflakes. And this is what I have so far. There's more snow at the bottom too. Lots of snow, but that's perfect for snow days. Two over 2 on this 32 count even weave. Where's my picture of this? The lovely ladies, let's see if I can remember how to say this, at this French Facebook group, Les Petites Croix, Les Petites Croix de Lutina et de Gribouille. That is the name of the Facebook group right there. And that's what the picture looks like at the top of the Facebook group page. They contacted me and invited me to join their bingo, autumn bingo stitch along. It started on the first day of autumn and ended on the first day of winter. So all the parts are out now. This picture doesn't show all of them, but they're all out now. And they did 1 square a week. They'd call a number and release that square each week. And the colors are just gorgeous. So I have part of it done. I don't have all of it done. I'll probably put it away and work on it next autumn. And finish it up, I hope. Mine is on a fabric flare called Leaf 2. And what count is it? I used to know this. I think it's 40 count. It'll be in the description box. I think it's 40 count Leaf 2. It's like a pattern of fall leaves. It's so pretty. And I'm doing 1 over 2. So it must be a 40 count. I'm using the called for DMC, except I subbed in several overdyed flosses, some silk, some cotton. But some of it is also just the DMC. And that is how many, I'm working on that square with a table and the pie sitting on it and the little cat. There's an umbrella tree, beautiful wreath, the squirrels, this kitchen, I love that one. This little girl splashing around in the rain. This beautiful house. This border I did with an overdyed floss. It's got 2 or 3 colors in it called for DMC, and they're all the same. But when I was pulling all the colors for this, I found a Threadworks color that's autumn colors, and it matched almost exactly to the DMC colors that it had in it to the ones that are called for in this piece. So I decided to do the border with that overdyed Threadworks color. I'll put the number in the description box. I love all the little mushrooms, oh, it's just so cute. Love, love it. This was a free pattern on their Facebook group. You can still get it on their Facebook group. They also have several other free patterns in the files section of that Facebook group. So I highly recommend you go join their group. Oh, that was my other new start. This one is Christmas Eve Sampler by Joan Elliott. I'm stitching mine on the called for fabric, which is Daybreak by Pole Stitches, even weave. Daybreak, 28 count Daybreak by Pole Stitches. And it is the most gorgeous fabric. And I'm stitching it with Floss 310 Floss Black by DMC. It's little, I'm using 2 strands. It's a little thicker than regular floss and almost has a little bit of a yarn feel to it. And then for the gold, I'm using number 4 braid 028 Krynic. I came up, found the top, and was able to stitch Santa in his sleigh, a little bit of reindeer, some numbers. This fabric is just beautiful. Purples and blues, it's gorgeous. 2/2 on this 28 count with the Floss. So pretty. This is Hark the Herald by my friend Jenny. She is Cricklewood Crossing designer. She's doing a series of songs of praise. I think, yes, this is in the Songs of Praise series. And if I remember right, there's 6 of them. There might be 9, but I think there's 6. And this is the first one that she released. I think she's released the second one now. I bought the kit from Jenny at the Crazy Woman Retreat in Wyoming. And so it came with the fabric, which was Bungalow by Forbidden Fiber Company, 40 count. And then the floss is also from Forbidden Fiber Company, except there were a few that were DMC, and the ones that were DMC I changed to overdyed floss. So I'm using the overdyes that I added to replace the DMC are Glass Slipper by Gentle Arts, Curry by Weeks Dye Works, and Bamboo by Classic Colorworks. Oh, and Weeks Dye Works Conch I used on the angel's face. So cute. I love that the letters are in 2 colors of green. Makes them so pretty. There's that color of fabric, Boardwalk. It's beautiful. No, Bungalow, I always say that, is Bungalow by Forbidden Fiber Company. In this darling retro fabric bag that my friend made me. My friend Susan. All right, this is the Teresa Kogut Hometown Stitch Along. It's a 2-year stitch along. I'm a little bit behind, but I will get caught up. I think I have November's section done, but not December's. Or maybe I'm missing 2, I don't know. Oh, mine. I haven't talked about it for so long, I can't remember what it's on. Oh, I know, it's on 46 count Buttercream by Lakeside Linens. And this is what I have so far. This is the other charm that came with that card catalog, the Moda furniture charms. They came together. I made them both into magnets. So 1/2 on this 46 count. And she's probably released both of these sections now, so I need to get both of those done. Beautiful. It's a stitch along through her Patreon group. And I think, except for the 3 new starts, I think this is the last of it. This is Christmas Afghan by Stony Creek. Christmas Village. Here's a better picture of the actual pattern. I'm using the called for Afghan fabric, which is 20 count white Lugana. And I'm using the called for DMC, which you stitch with 4 strands over 2. And yes, it is huge because it's an Afghan. And this is what I have so far. This is an overdyed color, this blue, but the rest is DMC. There's like 8 colors of brown in these words, all shaded. Okay, 3 new starts. On December 1st, Colette, the highway stitcher. She's always getting me into trouble, isn't she? She's a bad influence. I'm usually convincing her that we should start something. we decided we needed to start Winter Woods by Satsuma Street. We decided clear last summer at StitchCon that we wanted to start this, but maybe wait until winter to start it. And then she reminded me at StitchWest, she said, are we going to start that piece? And I was like, what piece? I completely forgot about it. And then pulled it out and was like, oh yes, we need to start that. I had forgotten. It's so pretty. Oh, what is this? Mine is on Picture This Plus 16 count Gothic Ada with the called for Cosmo. It calls for Cosmo floss. I love Cosmo floss. I'm always so excited when a designer calls for Cosmo floss. And I just have that first little square almost done. And I'm doing 2 strands of floss over 1 Ada square. So pretty. I think I've said that a million times. That will be my word of the video, so pretty. And then on New Year's Eve, I started Plum Street Winter Moon. It was a kit from the Country's, is it the Country Sampler? I'm trying to remember what store had it as a kit. So I got mine, it's the called for fabric, Saltbush. I got mine in 40 count. It was a gift for retirement from a dear friend. And it has all the called for overdyes and DMC in it. It came with it all. I started in the middle on New Year's Eve and stitched a whole bunch of bricks. That's the whole width of the house. And then the part of the black door and part of the windows that are on the lower floor. Those brick colors are so pretty. There's like 6 colors of bricks. So gorgeous. And then on New Year's Day, which was yesterday, today's January 2nd, 2025, I started First Frost by Hands On Design. Shepherd's Bush has done a conversion of this where they stitched both of those little towns in one long line, and they changed the colors to overdyes and changed the colors to reds and greens. These are more fall colors, because that's when the first frost happens. It makes sense in the fall. But the one we saw up on the wall at Shepherd's Bush, this is their conversion where they stitched them both together as one long line, and changed the colors to overdyed floss. And there's a red and a green. The snowflakes are oyster, which is a really light purpley gray color. So cute. To get their conversion, you have to either buy the pattern or the materials from Shepherd's Bush. And it's on 32 count Fog, 2/2. Shepherd's Bush actually did their model 1/2, but I'm doing mine 2/2. And I started in the middle. It's so pretty. Very peaceful. It was a great stitch for New Year's Day. Oh, I almost forgot. I have been wanting these magnetic frames forever. They come apart in 2 pieces, and they make it so much easier to work on perforated paper, like a Mill Hill kit. Pam and Bob at PNBMakingMemories on Etsy. That's P, 3 letters, PNBMakingMemories on Etsy. You may have heard of them on Pam and Steph's channel, Just Keep Stitching. I think they're also called PNB Creations. They sell these, and they have a laser printer, so you can get whatever words you want printed on there. You can just write in the little box, I want it to say this, and you can have it say whatever you want, and they'll put it on there for you. I really loved some of the examples they had on their Etsy site. This Amazing Grace one was an example, and this Stitch, Stitch, Stitch was also an example, so I chose those 2, and then I chose Grateful to go on this one. They are fabulous quality. I used it to finish the, I buried it, the Mill Hill Baby Jesus ornament. These came just in time for me to finish it, use this to finish it, and it just makes it working on perforated paper 100 times easier. I am actually able to put this in my lap frame, so it will hold it for me, which made it really nice to do the beading, because I need 2 hands to do beading. But you can also just hold it in your hand like Q-snaps if you stitch that way. Love these, love these, love these. I think that's everything for the half of November and all of December update. I'm going to put some stuff away, pull out everything else, and do a whip parade video and a plans video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.